Welcome back to Cruising America. Today we're hiking the Meigs Creek Cascade via Meigs Creek Trail. We're Steve and Kathleen. We're cruising America in our 35-foot fifth wheel RV, chasing 70-degree weather year-round. If you'd like to watch our previous videos, please click the Cruising America playlist link in the description below this video. Otherwise, enjoy our current episode starting now. The major bonus of this hike is the Sinks Waterfalls at the trailhead along Little River Gorge Road, 12 miles west of the Sugarlands Visitor Center. Back in the logging days, the Little River provided transportation for loggers' harvests. Given the length of the long logs in a tight mountain valley, the river jammed. The loggers' solution was dynamite. They blasted a bend and created a whole new route of access. Now it offers crystal clear water, natural pools, and waterfalls, making this an excellent spot to entertain yourself as you stretch your legs en route to Cades Cove. Moving on to the hike, this is my first forest hike east of the Mississippi River in years. The last 5 years we've been hiking out west. In other words, this was a very different hike for me. Instead of having vista views for 75+% of the hike, there were no vistas on this hike. The topography has me hiking dense forest in deep river and creek valleys with little to no vistas. This is quite a change and takes getting used to. For example, your focus is very close to your next footstep. It could be an interesting rock formation, interesting plant or tree, or least likely, an interesting animal. Consequently, the destination of the hike becomes more important. Here in the Great Smoky Mountains, for most, it's a waterfall. You're probably asking, what about vistas? Well, hikes with vistas in the park are rated hard and are hard, or very hard, depending on your physical condition. In addition, it'll cost you well north of 1,000 feet of elevation. For older folks like us, it's nowhere near worth the cost, because in my humble opinion, the reward is just another forested mountain view that looks just like every other forested mountain view east of the Mississippi. In eastern forest, it's what's on or near the trail that entertains you. This trail has a relatively steady incline, as well as multiple creek crossings to navigate, so come prepared to get your feet wet. Also, it has many tree roots and a few simple scrambles. Consider trekking poles. Because locals swim in the sinks, combined with park traffic and a small parking lot, you want to do this trail early in the day. It's cool. It's probably 70 degrees, maybe a tad cooler here under the canopy. Fairly humid, but the smell is incredible. Unfortunately, I don't have smell-o-vision, but it's hard to overestimate the freshness smell of the forest. Large portions of the hill are covered by this moss, even on the ground. You'd think there'd be solid dirt underneath this rock, or dead tree trunk, whatever it is. But erosion is everywhere here. Gone 6,500ths of a mile so far, and this is as close as I've come to a vista. That tiny little hole in the canopy. Everyone suggests all the popular trails, and they probably are good. I haven't done them yet. But there's plenty of other trails in the park that have almost no traffic. There's no wind here right now, and it's perfectly still and quiet. Descended down into the valley where the creek is, and it's gotten noticeably cooler and darker. Very, very nice. All right, you meet up with the creek at 1.43 miles. This is a pretty dicey crossing. Hopefully all those rocks are solid. There's not much of the way of footholds right in the middle. You cross back again the same creek at 1.52 miles. This one looks a little safer. Starting back down now, and the trail looks steeper than it did coming up. Don't know what this flower is, but there's plenty of them around here. A downed tree, and it wouldn't surprise me if this winter that becomes a bare down. Interesting. I don't know if these leaves are from this tree or another plant or tree. Here's an example of a deceptively dangerous trail, at least a section. Everything looks normal here. Looks like there's plenty of room. But if you really look to the left here, it's a straight drop down. If you're not paying attention, and there's no telling where the edge of that dirt is relative to those shrubs, you could go tumbling. The canopy of this tree is green with leaves, but if you were just looking at the trunk here, you would think this thing's about to rot away and fall down the mountain. These trees remind me of Singapore. They're trees, but then they have a branch that goes off like this that turns into almost a vine. Pretty wild. Looks like this tree fell uphill. Another example, an outcropping. The tree trunk may have been grown there, but I doubt it from looking at the ground. But still, look at all that erosion below the rock. Don't know if it flooded here recently or this is just naturally super wet, super moist. Almost looks like a bog.